Today, we're taking a look at the Hoka Clifton 6 after 100 miles. 15.66 miles, 9 minutes, 59 seconds per mile, 141 beats per minute on average for the run out there today. Feeling great until about the 2-hour mark, at which point I didn't bring any food or water on this run today, and I died just a little bit. So it was a little bit of a struggle to kind of finish out the run for today. But I didn't let that, or the fact that it was really wet, or the fact that it was really, really dark when I started this run, stop me from enjoying my miles today in the Hoka Clifton 6. Now, before I get into my detailed thoughts on this shoe, I do want to go over some disclosures. This is a pair of shoes that I bought with my own money. No one sent it to me. No one's paying me to wear the shoe or to make this video. And no one's going to get a chance to preview any of this footage before you guys get a chance to see this video on YouTube. Now, the disclosures out of the way, let's talk about the Hoka Clifton 6 after 100 miles. Now, this is a shoe that I think definitely falls in the daily trainer category. In my first run video, where I had gone for 2 runs, I ran a double that day, I was not sure. Basically, like looking at the Clifton, the way it's kind of advertised, the way people talk about it, I've always kind of thought it was straddling the line between, or blurring the line between daily trainer and max cushion shoe. But after spending a lot more time with the Clifton 6, I think it definitely falls into that kind of all-around type of shoe where it wants you to spend most of your time with the shoe kind of in that easy to easy / moderate type of pace. On days where I've taken it on slower paces, on longer runs where I'm trying to extend mileage, I just didn't feel like the shoe jived very well with me. Something about maybe the metarocker that they have in here, that kind of step-off feeling that you get as you're towing through the gait cycle, something about that kind of fought me on a little bit of my easier efforts, my slower paces, and I felt like we weren't really connecting. There was like a misstep in there somewhere. But at kind of my regular paces, my regular efforts, I felt like the shoe and I were really connecting. I felt like I was running in a way that the shoe was intending for me to run in it. And I found myself looking more and more forward to running in the shoe. I also got a couple of faster paces in there. I'm low heart rate training, so I'm not doing a lot of tempo or other higher intensity efforts. But on some of the downhills that I'm running while I'm still trying to keep my heart rate in a specific range, definitely got a chance to pick up the pace a little bit. And the Clifton 6 is still a very capable shoe. So I think that while I wouldn't reach for it on a tempo day, if it's something where you're running a fartlek, something that has going to have a little bit of speed play in it, I think that the Clifton 6 is still going to be a really great choice. The only thing that I think in terms of a knock I have on it is that I didn't love it for very, very long runs. So runs that are much longer than 2 hours, like today, for example, today's run was about almost 2 hours and 40 minutes. I had a couple of runs kind of in that 2 hours and 2 hours plus range. Towards the end of those runs, the shoe kind of feels like it's bottoming out. Not that the foam is completely failing, but it felt almost like my foot was in a bit of like a shallow dish. And so what's going on in the forefoot, it just seems like the foam isn't feeling as great anymore. And it feels like I'm just sitting inside something. Not that my foot is like rattling around, but it's a hard sensation to kind of describe, but I felt like the shoe wasn't the most comfortable of shoes for very, very long distances. Now, most daily trainers aren't very comfortable after like the 2 hour training mark. So it's not a tremendous knock, but in terms of would I want to run a marathon in this, I'm not so sure that I'd want to do that. Although I have heard from a lot of you guys out there that love this shoe and have run your marathons in this year. So it's definitely something that people are doing and can be done. Now, in terms of the way that the shoe is holding up over the miles, let's take a look at the upper. The upper, I've really enjoyed this upper. It's a little bit on the warmer side, I think, which has been very welcome for me in this winter time. For a lot of these wetter runs, I've been comparing this shoe and this upper with some thicker winter socks or even waterproof socks, which is what I had on today. And it's been really nice. There's enough room in the toe box for those waterproof socks. And those of you who have had waterproof socks know those socks are a lot thicker than regular socks or even winter socks. So having that little bit of extra room in the toe box here and in the forefoot or the top of the foot was really, really nice. And also when I didn't have winter socks on, I still got a really good fit. One of the things that I didn't like about the Clifton 1 re-release that I ran in, which was the only other Clifton that I've experienced, was that it felt very, the fit felt very weird. It felt like even though the shoe fit my foot, like there were really, really long laces, the lacing was weird, and I had to cinch the shoes really tight. I've seen lots of other people with the same exact, not issue, but kind of fit in their Clifton 1 re-releases that they've been wearing. And I really, it's just like a weird turnoff. It just feels like something's not right when your shoe gets tied down that tight and the two sides of the shoe kind of collapse on each other. Didn't experience any of that with this shoe. I feel like the fit has been just really fantastic. Now, in terms of the outsole, outsole is also holding up really well. There's some exposed foam down here. It's hardly seeing any sort of wear. A lot of the rubber up here has very fine grooves in it. So I've really been taking a closer look at what's going on in some of those grooves. Not a lot of wear and tear anywhere on the forefoot at all. The only one space that I'm seeing wear is on this outer rear portion of my heel, which is where I typically see the most wear, especially on these low heart rate runs where I'm running a little bit slower. I'm definitely seeing a lot of that here on this foot. On the other foot, on my right foot, it's even more pronounced. I guess that's just the way my gait is at these speeds. And it's to the point where this rubber has worn all the way down where I'm actually running on a little bit of the exposed foam. So that part is wearing a little bit faster than I'm used to. I've also seen that though in these low heart rate training miles, that part of the shoe on all the shoes that I've run on is wearing down a little bit faster than I'm used to. But it is a bit of a surprise just how much the rubber is wearing down here. But in comparison to everything else that's going on all over the rest of the shoe, overall, I'm seeing very little wear. So very confident in the amount of rubber in here. Traction's been good for all the surfaces and kind of levels of wetness and slipperiness that I've run on. I've run on everything from pavement to a little bit of mud, getting a little bit off-road in the trails that I was running earlier in the week. So I've been very happy with the way that this shoe has been holding up. Overall, I feel like the miles in this shoe haven't been exciting miles. They haven't been speedy miles per se, but they've been happy miles. I've been just really having a great time running in this shoe. I always look forward to putting it on. I've been having a good time running in it. The foot issues that I've been experiencing at some of the higher mileage weeks and some other shoes, I don't experience any of them with this shoe. For shorter distances, for even some of my very longer distances, it's been a very capable, very fun to run in daily trainer. And I'm starting to understand why all you guys love the Clifton series so much. So those are my thoughts on the Clifton 6 after 100 miles. If you have any questions or want to talk about it some more in the comments, please let me know. I'd love to talk to you guys about it more down there. Before I go out and remind you guys about the charity runner for this week it's Tommy Hackett, who just ran the Seattle Marathon and just finished. Congratulations, Tommy. Raising money for the Pat Tillman Foundation. I was happy to donate $7 to Tommy's fundraising efforts, and I'll post a link in the description in case you'd like to learn more. That's all I have for today, everybody. Thanks so much for making it all the way to the end of this video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yo, what's going on?